Hello everyone, welcome to General Lando 327 Plays Tales of Grace's F. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this series, and that's probably the vast majority, you are not alone. I myself was unfamiliar with this series until about 2 years ago when I think I picked up this particular game. And I'll be talking about this, I'm sure, a lot during this playthrough, but I fell in love with this series. Coming from a history of playing primarily Final Fantasy games, and then Kingdom Hearts, I have very quickly fallen in love with the Tales of series. The focus on character interactions for me is a big draw because I myself have done some writing, and so good character development is one of the things that I appreciate in a great story, and the Tales series specializes in that. They're all about they each game has a major theme. For this game, it's the theme of friendship and how that affects relationships and so on. But because of that, they do a lot of focusing on the interactions between characters. I'm going to start the game, and we can watch the opening cutscene, and then I will start expounding upon that a little bit more as we go along. Now, this is a JRPG, so it's not not necessarily the action-based style that we're used to in the West, and the graphics are very stylized and cartoony, and that's to me it doesn't bother me. I am going to put this on moderate. There is a hard mode, but I am not a gamer that enjoys difficulty for difficulty's sake. Now, in this case, hard mode does actually give you better bonuses and stuff after combat, and better item drops. But I don't think I'm quite prepared to try that yet. Maybe someday. So for today, we're going to put this on moderate, which is actually a higher difficulty than I've ever actually played it on. Normally, I play these things on whatever the equivalent of story mode is. Sometimes that's normal, sometimes that's easy. Just because I enjoy the story, I don't necessarily enjoy bashing my head against the wall. I'm going to set this to everyone for now. Vibration on. I'm going to leave subtitles on for simplicity. And the rest of that is all set. So, confirm settings. And we're launched directly into the opening cutscene.
You're really going up there? Of course! Flowers bloom there all year round. Don't you want to see them? Come on, it'll be an adventure.
Famous last words.
Dad's gonna be really angry if he finds out. How many times has he told us to stay away from Lont Hill? It's dangerous. You think I believe a word he says? Don't worry, it's fine. And besides, I'm 11 years old. I go where I want.
Typical 11-year-old.
Wait, what about Sheria? Shouldn't we invite her too? No, she can sit this one out. What? Why? She's sick, Hubert. It would be hard on her. Besides, one scaredy cat slowing me down is more than enough. Hey, that's not nice. Anyway, let's go. I want to see what's up there.
Alright, so here we go. As you can see, the graphics are very, stylized and cartoony, and I actually rather like that about this series. One second, let me just go ahead
Take that!
and clear this.
Ow! Get back! Take that! No! Get back! Take that! Take that! Temper strike! Take that!
Oops.
Take that! Yes! All right, we did it!
Alright, so anything that we see as a tutorial is obviously available in a menu in the game. Just like any other game for the most part.
We're really gonna do this?
Anyway, I was talking about the visual style of this game, and I kind of find it a little refreshing. Like I said, I'm used to playing Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, which is a little bit closer to this, but it's still not. The closest Final Fantasy that would have been like this was probably Final Fantasy IX, when they were trying to bring a little bit more of the Japanese feel, JRPG feel to the West. But so one of the trademark items of this franchise is skits. And the whole purpose of skits is just little mini character interactions that are typically optional.
I'm really thirsty.
They just build rapport between characters.
Plus, it's really good for you. So come on, have some. You'll like it. Well, all right. Oh, this is good. Wait, I thought you'd never been to Lont Hill before. Huh, I guess Frederick knew what he was talking about after all. Here, give me some of that. I want to try it. Hey, I'm not your guinea pig. This isn't a good idea.
So, you know, as a change of pace, this is, yes, fine. Can we move on with this tutorial? I already pressed the guard button many times. Come on. I guess it has to actually let me hit it. Okay, fine. Yes, I know. I've played this game before. This was actually the first installment in the series that I played myself, so that's actually one of the reasons I'm choosing to play this one first on my stream. Because I fell in love with it from this game, so hopefully I can pass that on to some other people that might not be familiar with the series.
Victory is ours!
Yeah, we know how to guard. Let's... We'll get into more of the some of the more technical details of the game as we come across them.
What's wrong? There's someone there.
Here's our first actual FMV cutscene of the game.
It looks like a girl. Hey, you! What do you think you're doing sleeping out here? Oh! I heard a voice. You did? I was asleep at one with this place. But then I heard your voice, and I woke up. Why was I awakened?
Why were you asleep?
Well, you know it's dangerous to sleep out here. If you want to take a nap, maybe you should find a bed or something. Asbel! She's headed right for the cliff! Hey! You fall! What do you think you're doing? Fall? Yeah, fall. Splat. You know what that means, right? No. What does it mean? It means... well... That's a long way down. If you fell, you'd be in big trouble. See? You get it now? If you fell, you'd... Oh, never mind. Look, just stay away from the cliff. Understand? So, where do you think she's from? I've never seen her before. Hey, what's your name?
What is up with this girl?
Oh, right. That's rude. I should introduce myself first.
Yeah, that's definitely the problem.
I'm Asbel Lant. This is my little brother, Hubert. Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. So, tell us your name. My name? What was it? What was... my name? Hey, don't tell me you forgot your own name. Well then, I know. How about this? Can you at least tell us where you're from? Where I'm from?
Kind of half expected her to say right here.
Seriously? You don't remember that either? Asbel, I wonder if maybe she has amnesia or something. They say that people with amnesia have trouble remembering things.
Like not to walk off cliffs.
Amnesia, huh? Hey, so you really can't remember anything? Well, you know, Hubert, you may be right. So what do we do now? We bring her back to town. What? Are you serious? Can we even do that? Well, what else can we do?
Oh, here comes the butterfly
We can't
again.
just leave her here. And besides, maybe she'll remember something once we get back. Oh, yeah. I suppose that makes sense. Hey, why don't you come back with us? There's no point
But
standing
she
around
wants
here by
the
yourself.
butterfly.
Great. We'd better get going then. You like flowers? Here, take one for the road. It's just a flower, you know. You're weird. Well, never mind. Let's go.
So, the little thingy in the bottom right-hand corner that just disappeared said we're at Lant Hill Meadow, and when our main character Asbel introduced himself, he said his name was Asbel Lant. So there's got to be a connection there. We don't know what it is quite yet. Although, I don't know if I can see the map from here. No, I won't see the map from there, but... Alright. So the skits that I was talking about a little bit, they are designed to kind of be insight into the goings-on within the party at any given time. sometimes they're related to the area that you're in. Sometimes they're related to just random interactions between the characters of your party. Sometimes they're like post-event assessments by your party of, what do we do now? What just happened? And sometimes the opposite. They're pre-event, like almost foreshadowing of what they think is going to be going on, etc., etc. And they're kind of the signature of one of the major signatures of the Tales series, and probably the biggest reason that I fell in love with the series, because a lot of them are the vast majority of them are strictly optional and just give you detail into the mindset of the characters and.
I fight for justice.
Random battle, but whatever. I say random. All the battles in so far the entire series that I've seen appear on the map. So, but they only show like one creature that's going to be in the battle. They don't show like all of the entire configuration. Titles. That was the next thing I'm going to be talking about anyway. I was actually expecting to get that cutscene after we did, or that little menu thing after we did this skit. So let me play this skit and then
What
we'll
were the
talk
two
about
of you
titles.
doing in the meadow, Asbel? I'd heard flowers bloom there year-round, and I wanted to see them. I'm kind of an explorer like that.
That's what he likes telling everyone. But he only went there because Dad said not to.
What? No! This has nothing to do with my father.
Okay. So titles. In this game, this isn't true of the entire series. The entire series has a system of titles. Basically, you earn titles by doing things, or sometimes they're derived by in-game events. Sometimes you get them just from leveling up, or side quests. In this particular game, the titles are actually basically the leveling up system of the game. In some of the other Tales games, they are simply just a like a little menu item that you see that you got a certain title, and they're almost more of just an achievement. But in this game, the titles that you equip right now, each player or each character only has one. So, but as we go along, we're going to unlock hundreds more, and we're gonna each title has its own system of leveling. As you can see right now, Asbel's title at the bottom is Little Rascal, and each title kind of describes a little bit about either how he earned it, or how his character is being viewed, or anything like that. And sometimes the abilities and such that you earn from them are directly related to the title. Sometimes they're just, whatever they threw in for that particular title. In this case, he has, most of them have five steps to them, and as you go through battles and do achievements and things like that, you gain points towards leveling up those. So right now, each character has one full level of each of their equipped titles. And in this case, all three of them, that little A symbol next to the name of the first thing that's starred there, means that it's an art. It's a skill that they're unlocking. Those heart ones are just are stat boosts. And once you've learned an art or a stat boost or an upgrade as a title in this game, as part of a title in this game, you keep them for any other titles that you have equipped. But the titles themselves also, if I hit the info button there, also give you another bonus of some sort just for having them equipped, and that is only given by the one that you have equipped. So sometimes later in the game, it's going to be strategic for us to equip a title that we already have maxed out, just because of whatever stat boost it gives for that particular fight. The little round thing next to the level 5 ability, and they all have the same level 5 ability in this case, and it's parry heal, and that's an automatic skill that they will equip once they finish gaining that level of the title. And in this case, that parry heal is exactly what it sounds like. They guard and attack, and it gives them a little bit of healing. And we'll talk more about titles when it becomes relevant. But, so you've already seen me do this a little bit, evading attacks or just maneuvering around by using this quick step that was just mentioned. And basically what it is when you're guarding, you can do a little side step. Or you can do it forwards and backwards. They haven't mentioned that yet, but you can. To kind of either close distance with an enemy or evade an attack. And that's a critical part. This game, I think, was one of the first in the series to use that system in the particular way that it does. The quick steps have been a staple of the series for much longer than this game, but this was the first one to use it as freely as it does in combat, from what I understand of the way that the series has developed. I have not played all of the games in the series. I've played a few before this and a few after this. I have only completed 2 of them. Well, actually, I think I've played all of them after this at some point or another. But the only ones I've completed so far are this one and the first Tales of Xillia game. I'm in the process of playing the second one through. And likely I will play some of them on stream blind at some point. I'll say blind, but really I mean mostly blind, because one of the things I was talking about earlier was that I am not a gamer that enjoys just throwing my head against the wall and trying to ramp against a difficulty setting that is unnecessary in my mind. I am a gamer that uses guides for these kinds of long, drawn-out games, because I don't want to miss things, and considering the length of these games, I don't want to have to. I don't have to go back and get things, or as most of us are aware with our role-playing games, there are missable items, and I don't want to have to replay an entire game just because I missed like one thing, which leads into my next point. I consider myself to be a practical completionist. Like I said, I don't like bashing my head against the wall just to get something that basically gains me no benefit in the actual game. There are certain challenges that I will do just because, but for the most part, I want an in-game reward out of my effort. So I do try to collect everything within reason, and I do try to fight everything at least, 6 or 7 times until I just give up. Or if I know it's something that will give me something very useful, then I'll figure out a way to wrap my head around it.
This isn't a good idea.
In this particular game, there's really nothing I won't do, just because like I said, I played through this one. I know what it's going to ask of me. The only question in my mind on this one is, like I said, this is the first time I have played it on the next highest difficulty level. Like I say, I usually play through a game the first time on the easiest or whatever the equivalent to the story difficulty level is, just because I'm learning the game. I don't really care to, I want to enjoy the game the first time I play it. After that, then I'll go back and do like I'm doing now. So you may see me fail a few battles here and there, especially some of the tougher challenges. I'm not going to make the best moves all the time. One point that I like to make is that I am not a pro gamer in any sense of the word. I play for fun. I play for relaxation, and that's why I play video games. So I enjoy the story, I enjoy the writing, and then and I do as much as is reasonable to do. In the Tales series, as far as I've gone so far, and in the games that I've played, there's really no challenges that I haven't been able to complete. But like I say, I have not played hardly any of them on higher difficulty levels than just whatever the... and you can make fun of me all you want. If you watch my introduction to my channel, you will hear me say that that's half the point of this channel, is to watch me play video games and make fun of me, because I know I'm not a perfect gamer. I don't have the best strategies all the time, and I'm not going to claim to. But I hope you can enjoy with me as I'm sometimes struggling through games and sometimes maybe doing better than one might think, given my my preferences. And the other reason that I am playing this particular series is because, like I said, I played this game first and I fell in love with it. And being primarily a gamer who has played Final Fantasy and similar games, especially made by Square Enix, I am getting more and more frustrated with Square Enix as time goes by. Their movement away from the games of previous generations and more towards a intentionally hack and slashy feel. And to me, that's not what a Final Fantasy game used to be. It was about the characters and it was about the story. And it's becoming less and less like that, in my opinion. So that's actually why I branched out to the Tales series, because I needed something to fill the gap that, because at the time I had just purchased Final Fantasy Type 0, which when I started playing that, like many people, I got it not just for that game, but also for the episode Duskai demo for Final Fantasy 15, and I was not thrilled with either of them. Especially after Lightning Returns,
I'm sure people accidentally
which
dropped
to
them.
me is one of the
We should be careful not to
low
make the same
points in the
mistake.
franchise,
Especially you, big brother.
just because
I'm
of
tired
my
being
preferences
blamed whenever you
of
lose something.
not having everything be all about perfect timing and and hack and slash, and I wanna strategize, and the more I play Type 0, the more I appreciate Type 0 for what it is. But at the time that I started playing the Tales series, I was very frustrated with Square Enix because they had not released a game for quite a long time that I was the least bit
What do we do now?
thrilled with. Lightning Returns I had high hopes for, and they just dashed them to the ground. I actually had some high hopes for Type 0 when it came out, and
You're in trouble.
because it does focus a lot on the characters, but the play style is still very action oriented, and I'm just like, whatever.
I'm not gonna let you.
And then Duskai, I literally didn't even finish the first boss in Duskai because I was just so furious with the system. As it turns out, I rather like Final Fantasy 15. I'm glad they did some of the things that they did. I still think it could have
You
been
shouldn't be running like that.
better, but it made sense.
Guys, you went to Launch Hill, didn't you?
I haven't actually played any of the DLC yet, and as I am recording this, the
Where's that?
episode Prompto just came out.
Don't play dumb with me.
I take that back. I did play a little bit of the episode Gladiolus, but I haven't even gone back and played the
When you went there.
revised endings or anything.
I'm sorry. But look, if I'd brought you there, you'd be too tired to walk back.
I'm sorry, I should probably have been letting you listen
I have
to this.
carry you on my back again.
And you always get really angry whenever Asbel
Basically,
has to carry
they came
you.
back to town, and this
That's
girl
just because he's
Sharia
so
is one of their
terrible
friends,
at it.
and she's very, very sick. But she
See,
really
what I
wanted to
tell
go
you.
to Lant Hill,
Here,
and
hop
Asbel had
on.
promised that he would take her the first time that he
I
went,
promise I'll
and
try to be more
obviously
careful this time.
he didn't.
That's all right. I can walk on my own.
Hey, where did that girl go?
What girl?
Yeah, that girl that we found laying in a flower bed?
Why is she still back there? Go get her, Hubert.
Right.
Hey there. So why didn't you follow us? That girl told us not to move.
Very, very
Who is
literal,
this
that
girl?
one.
I don't know. We found her on the hill and brought her back here.
Why did you do that?
She seems a little older than me. So, is this the kind of girl Asbel likes? Come on, Sharia. Don't stare at her like that. You two should try to be friends.
I like how Sharia determines that unknown girl is older just because she's taller.
What's with the flower you're holding, Asbel? Huh? Wow, it's just beautiful. How lovely. So did you bring this flower back for me? Actually,
Just say it's for her. It'll make her feel better.
And that's why Hubert's the smart one.
yeah, something like that. Oh, Asbel. Well, since you were kind enough to bring me a flower, I guess I can forgive you just this once. This is a Sofaria, isn't it? They don't normally bloom this time of year. I guess the stories about that place are true. Yeah, the hill had flowers blooming all over the place. Aww.
That one little flower sure is making her happy, huh, Asbel?
Happy? Oh, you're giving me one too?
Well, now this is awkward.
Thank you. That was really nice of you. Happy. So, what's your name? Where are you from? We asked her the same thing earlier, but she doesn't know.
Apparently doesn't know much
We
of
think
anything
she
else
might
either.
have amnesia.
What? Oh my gosh, that's terrible. We were hoping she'd remember something if we brought her into town.
Well, has seeing the town helped you with your memory at all? Guess not. Maybe we should try asking around or something.
Oh, maybe we should go and ask my grandpa. He knows pretty much everyone around here, you know? Oh, good idea. I bet Frederick would know something. Let's head back to our place.
Alright, so now we've got Sharia in our squad. But if we go to the menu, she doesn't have any stats or anything. At this point, she's just a kind of a guest character. So our party is still going to be Asbel, Hubert, and Unknown Girl. And it also shows their titles here. Asbel, like we already talked about, has the Little Rascal title. Hubert is the prudent sibling, and Unknown Girl has Amnesiac. So, again, it's just a way of kind of making each character unique and have a feel that that is kind of related to their character, but unique to them. It's not the case of all the titles. Some of the titles you get from achievements, and they're very similar from character to character, if not exactly the same. One thing about this game, being that it is a JRPG, the standard rule applies of talk to everybody, even though half of them don't have anything interesting to say. But we actually get a title later for talking to the majority of people in X amount of towns. Yeah, I don't want to go back out of town anyway. So now we know we have a manor. Also, this town is actually called Lont. Again, same as our last name. So, we've got to obviously be some kind of bigwigs. By the way, we can talk to chickens. Yup. That just happened. And they do count towards the number of people that you talk to. Yeah, we just went there. And get a skit here.
So, you really don't remember your name?
No.
Oh, you poor thing.
Why? What's so poor about not knowing your name? Does having a name make you happy?
Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't feel good to be called that, does it? I have a sickness too, so I know how you feel. I'm really sorry.
So, I mean, just in that small interaction alone, you get a lot of insight into Sharia's character. She's sensitive about the fact that she's sick all the time. She doesn't like being, treated like she can't do things. That's why she got so upset with Asbel both for not inviting her along to the hill and for trying to take her on his back and carry her home. And just from that little interaction, we get that little interaction and the interaction before, we get some pretty deep information as to what Sharia's personality is like. And then this is a little pop quiz thing that we can do. Just go ahead and focus on this for a second. Not that they're real hard, but those were the names of the enemies that we were just fighting outside of time. And he gives us 100 gold or Gald is the currency in the Tales series, just for getting the answers right. We're going to come back to the shops in a second. Before we do that, I'm going to go over here. I already talked to you. I'm going to go over here. And try to remember where I need to go. I think it's this house. Yeah. If we check this little cabinet here, why they keep random slabs of pork in the cabinet, I'm not really sure, but they do, and we can take pork from it. One of the aspects of the entire Tales series is cooking and the effect of we can talk to dogs too. Anyway, we can the effect of how cooking meals and things has an effect on battles and your party status and things like that. And the gels, like this apple gel that this dog gives us, are the franchise consumables for healing both hit points and magic points, or such as they are. I don't know if they're actually called magic points, but it'll be a while before that part of it. They're technical points. They're TP. They're not MP. So yeah, basically the points that you use for skills in battle. Don't expect her to give you treats, except she just gave me one. Cool. And then we will come back to the other side of town here in a second. I'm just going to talk to this guy. Alright, and then we're going to move on here for a second. I already talked to you.
Welcome back, Master Asbel. Master Hubert.
Hey, Frederick.
You ran off on me again, Sharia.
I'm sorry, Grandpa.
Please forgive her, my young masters. I've instructed her that you're not to be bothered, yet she refuses my counsel.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's no bother at all. Anyway, we were wondering if you've ever seen this girl before.
This young woman? No, I don't believe I have.
Grandpa, this girl has amnesia.
You don't say. That's quite the dilemma. Perhaps I should make a few inquiries around town.
No, that's all right. We'll do it ourselves. Come on, guys. Let's head into town.
Do strive to return before dawn.
I don't understand what this
yes?
arm up in the air thing is.
You got it.
Asbel did it in the opening cutscene, and now this mysterious girl just... Hi? I don't know. I mean, you know, after we've been talking for... however long? So, this is our manor. And it's getting pretty obvious that that Asbel and Hubert's family is, you know, some kind of bigwigs. Have a town named after them. They have their own giant, you know, mansion. Alright, and that gives us our first clue where we need to go next. We need to go out past the apple tree to the west. We haven't discovered the apple tree, we're about to. But before we do that, we're going to go inside. Lot Manor. And so this is the inside digs of our home. We can talk to... let me do the skip first.
Who was that?
Frederick? He's part of Sharia's family.
Family?
You know, moms and dads and brothers and sisters and stuff. Don't worry, I'm sure you have one.
Moms and dads. Would they be important to me?
Of course,
duh.
they're your family.
How about yours?
Yeah, they...
What's wrong?
I don't know. I wonder what Mom and Dad actually think of me.
I'm sorry, I don't have the answer to your question.
I wasn't asking you.
So if we talk to this maid, we can heal our stats up again. Save us a little time there. And then we can talk to Frederick and another brief interaction about unknown girl. It's gonna be so much better when she has a name. Upstairs. And there's another skip here.
Ka-joink!
Ouch! Don't pinch my cheeks. It really hurts.
Asbel, cut that out. What's wrong with you?
I found a piece of Creus on Lant Hill that was full of Eleth, but it's gone. I think Hubert stole it.
Asbel, what's that by your feet?
Oh, my Creus! Well, what do you know?
This happens every single time.
Alright, and then we get the enemy book. I'm going to talk about the books in a minute. I'm going to collect a couple more, and then I'll tell you all about them. That's all those in here. I think then all we got to do is head back out. Yeah. For now, that's all we can do of any usefulness in here. So we're going to head back out. I started to say that food is really important in these games. That opens up the west exit, so we can go that way in a second. Food is really important in these games, but so are all the other drops from monsters and things that you pick up that just seem like random drops. For example, we have... those are consumables. We've gotten some fur, we've gotten some wood chunks, the pork and pickled plum and stuff we just picked up from that house, but poisonous needles. All of these things are used, it says down at the bottom in their description that they're materials, or in the food case it says ingredients. Everything that you collect in the game, including previous weapons and equipment, is typically usable in some form of combination of items. We're going to get a tutorial on that in just a second, or 5. The reason I came this way was I need to buy... not there. Let's be at the item store. Yeah, I need to buy the manual. Basically what this does is if I wanted to make it so that my party members didn't attack unless I told them to, like specifically to use their characters, I could set them to manual mode, and then they would just stand there until I switched to them and told them to do something. Otherwise they attack automatically based on the preferences that I have in the system for them, which right now are just the default preferences because it doesn't really matter. One of the other things that's unique to the Tales series are these turtles, and they play some different roles throughout the franchise, but primarily they're merchants that are found in, random places. You always have the town merchants, but then you also have these turtles that sometimes show up in the fields, sometimes they show up in town offering different, whether it's straight up gear or whatever, or whether it's
I'm getting kind of hungry.
services of some sort. Depends on the game. We're going to get one service that they offer here in a moment, but the same service is also offered by the regular merchants in this game. And eventually we get an item that'll let us do it without having a merchant.
You're hopeless. Here, watch out. Let me do it.
This interaction is going to unlock another book in a second.
You can't
Or
reach
5.
him either.
Typical big brother think he can do whatever
up.
the little brother can't, and turns
You
out he
kids want
can't
some
do it either.
apples?
And instead of just asking for help,
Here you go.
Thank you very much.
there we go.
Yeah, thanks, mister. Here, you have one too.
Okay.
Now, boys, I heard you've been wandering around Launt Hill on your own.
No, never.
Where'd you hear that?
In that case, why not take this along? You'll learn a whole lot, and you might even have some fun, too.
Wait, you're giving us a present?
Oh, wow. A discovery book.
What's that?
It's a book that chronicles each region's rare products and places.
Which is actually very, very useful.
Whenever you find one, you can record it in the Discovery Book.
Because there are certain things that you can only get
let's try it
from
out.
discovery points in this game.
Something rare.
Typically,
Aha!
Asbel, You're not going to record the girl with amnesia, are you?
No, I had no intention of doing that.
Of course not.
Again, typical Big Brother.
Let's just record the apple tree instead.
Right, I'm on it.
So anyway, the discovery book is very useful because some of the discovery points have items that you can't get anywhere else in the game. So now I just discovered the apple trees, and now when I come to the apple trees, I can get apples from it. Let's watch this little skit
Look at all
here,
those
and then we'll go
apples.
in and look at the books themselves.
Apples. That guard just gave you one. Don't tell me you don't know what an apple is.
I don't think so, no. I haven't seen one before.
Wow, you really aren't from around here, huh? Wherever you came from, it must be pretty far away.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, because the obvious solution to her, like, not understanding anything about being, basically anything about being human, it must be that she's from far away. That's the only possible explanation. And it's definitely not sounding like amnesia anymore. But let's discover the windmill. We'll go up to the top here for one more skit. This is a kind of funny skit. I enjoy it. This is one of the ones that's purely for character interaction.
Wow, check out that view.
And humor.
I hope you're okay with heights.
Why?
Why? Because we're really high up and it would hurt if
Back
you
to
fell.
this again.
Oh, that sounds bad.
What?
Hey, Asbel, what is this?
It's a windmill. See? The Eleth in the wind powers the blades, which is cool. The adults around here call this mill Lord Windegard, but I'm not a big fan of that name, so personally I prefer to call it... hey, where'd she go? I guess she really is afraid of heights, huh?
Or you're just really boring. Alright, climb down, and then I'm going to go into the menu and show you how these books work. Library. So all of the Tales game have this library system. Sometimes you have to collect the various categories in the library. Sometimes you don't. So the one that we had automatically is the collector's book. This tells you basically everything that you picked up throughout the game. If it has a typical location, it will tell you where it is. Let's see if I can get... If I go down to... Actually, it'll be easier to do it this way. If I move over to the materials that we picked up, somewhere down here will be some of the ones that we've already gotten. So like this fur... so it tells you, let's see, I think if I hit change books now, it will, nope, it's not going to do it that way. Some of the systems of the way that they do the books are a little bit cumbersome, between trying to figure out, where to get some of these items. Sometimes it'll tell us, and sometimes it won't. Maybe if I forgot to remember how this one works. That's not it. Okay, well, this one there's no apparent shortcut between the item and like what drops it or where it's found. Some of the other games do have that ability that if you go to an item that a monster drops, you can get either a list of those monsters and then jump to the specific monsters, or it'll just jump you directly to whatever monster. But like I said, the system for these books can be a little bit cumbersome, because if we go forward a couple of books, the user's guide is basically like the tutorial log and synopsis of what's going on in all of your records. But the next one here is the enemy book that we picked up, and it has all of the enemies that we fought so far. If we go and select one, it'll tell you what it drops. It'll tell you, you can play with the image of it. More info. Tells you its stats and what it's weak against. So this is a very, very useful tool. Although most of this information you can see during battles. When we do our next battle, I'll show you how you pull all that up anyway. And I'm thinking later there is something that correlates the items and the monsters that drop them a little bit better, but I can't remember for sure. The other one in the library that we just picked up was the Discovery Book. So this one, like the apple tree, it tells me what I get from this discovery point. So that's, again, a useful tool. Like I said, the system is a little bit cumbersome, but you get used to it. When you're actually looking for specific things, you kind of get used to how you would go about finding what you're looking for. While we're here, we've gone to the titles menu, but I mentioned the art, those little A things next to skill names, but I haven't actually explained arts. So arts are the system of attacks in this game, and in this particular game, you have your left, the direction that you're holding your left stick when you make an attack determines what attack you do. So right now, Asbel has one basic attack here that no matter how I use my left stick, he's going to use the same attack for his first attack. The second attack, I have two choices. Right now, if I use either of the left or right directions, I don't have a second attack, or third attack for that matter, because the only ones that lead to the third attack are these top two. But if I hold the left stick neutral, I'll use this second attack. If I push up or down on the left stick, it uses the bell ringer attack. And then for the third attack in a sequence, if I do either of those things, leave it neutral or go up and down, I will have this attack. However, one thing that's worth mentioning is that you have these, I can't go directly to them, but each category has a number of CC as a header. Those are your how many actions you can do in battle. And so the basic attack costs 1, the second attack costs an additional 2, the third attack costs an additional 3. So really, in order to do a 3-hit combo, you have to have a total of 6 CC available to get that far into the combo, which comes into play considerably down the road. Once we get into like the fourth step in the combo, you kind of have to strategize when you're going to press your attack, which isn't a unique thing in this series because all the games have something similar to that combat system for the most part. I guess I think we're done for now in this town. Yeah, because I haven't done that yet. So then we need to go south of town. Another thing that's a little bit awkward about this is that as we move, the compass changes directions based on the fixed point, the fixed map of the town. You can see as I move here that the compass in the top left-hand corner is adjusting based on where we are and the direction of the map rather than the direction of this, of the screen. So I can't really adjust it to the camera is a little strange, but again, it's something you get used to pretty quickly.
I've never been down West Launch Road before. We come this way all the time to look at boats. Boats? If you keep going down this road, you'll reach the Western Port. They have boats from all over the world.
I guess you really are a boy if you love boats.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Did miss a skid. I can get it when I come back. That's no problem. I know that one's there.
Here we go!
So when I'm guarding like this, if you look at Asbel's portrait in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the number 4 underneath there. That's the number of CC that he currently has. So when I make an attack, it goes down. I just made 2 attacks, so it did the 1 and the 2 afterwards. If you guard for a second, it will bring it back up to at least the base. But as you go through combat, you can actually earn a higher cap on your CC as you go along. The highest I've ever seen in this game is 12, I think. which obviously makes it a whole lot easier to get longer combos. And certain actions that are taken will add to or reduce that number based on, you know, the whatever. If you evade an attack successfully, it boosts the number of current CC that you have. If you get stunned, it like dramatically decreases the amount of CC that you currently have. So, you know, that's an interesting part of this combat system. The other thing I was going to show you in this battle is if you are highlighting, if you're in the battle, you're going to be automatically targeting something. If you hold the R1 button, it's going to show you the basic information about that target. So it gives you the name, their current HP, and anything they're weak against. Some bosses this doesn't work, but for the most part, everything in the game you can see what they're weak against. So then if you go into triangle and bring up the actual like menu, you can go into your arts, and if you look in the bottom, the right hand side of the bottom box there, it tells you that that little icon in the top right hand corner of the box says that this is a strike. So any enemies that were weak or strong against strike would take damage accordingly. Right now, all of your characters have all strike skills. I think. Let me check. Unknown girl. She might have a. So she has. She actually has some other abilities, and she actually has a 4cc ability right now. I don't think she. It says usage 0. I don't think she has nearly enough CC to ever be able to use it at this point, but for some reason she already has one and our other two characters do not. That will get explained later, obviously. But she actually has some abilities that are not just pure strikes. So her basic attack is actually a slash attack, and then she has some attacks that actually do 2 types of damage, or 3 for the 4cc one. So obviously as we go along, in this case she actually has an attack that is, so those birds that are weak against bird, basically it's an enemy type system is what it does. So they're weak against attacks that are strong against birds. So so this attack would do more damage to those. And again, that's one of the unique complexities of this system.
No, best stay away from me.
And it has at the bottom there that there was a tech bonus. Basically, if you achieve certain things in battle, you get a boost to something or other. Sometimes in this case, it's the amount of points that we earn towards our titles. Sometimes it's just experience. Sometimes you get some hit points returned to you. So it all kind of depends on what the context was of the bonus, and there's exactly the tutorial telling you that. Sometimes you get extra gold from it. By the way, I will probably refer to the currency system as gold, even though it's actually gold, just because I play too many games, and for me to try to keep track of which one does which system is, you know, kind of like if you watch my Kingdom Hearts commentary, I will probably very rarely refer to the currency as money. I'll probably still refer to it most likely as gil, actually, because of how often that I've played the Final Fantasy, how long I've played the Final Fantasy
I already
franchise.
picked some. What are you gonna do with more?
Maybe I want my own apple gel.
What does that have to do with anything?
If you bring a gel seed and an apple to a merchant or a turtles, they can turn them into an apple gel.
Wow, I didn't know that. I thought you just ate them.
You shouldn't do that, Asbel. I don't think they're good for you raw.
So that shows you kind of a couple of purposes of the skit system. Obviously the interaction between characters, but that had less of that, and it was more about one of the primary uses of skits is also for comic relief, and then the other one is that was a little bit of foreshadowing there, because that was our first hint of the combination system that I was talking about. We're gonna move this way a little bit more. Oh, you know what? Let's see. I think there's a fixed You can't see it in these bushes. There it is. You can almost see it there next to where Asbel is standing. A little flash there in the tall grass. That's a sparkling point. Did I actually get the? I did get the just go over there. All right. That's a sparkling point, and they're common in the majority of the Tales series as well. That are just random places on the map that you can find items, drops, that kind of thing. And sometimes they appear, sometimes they don't. Some points are fairly fixed, and some of them are a little bit less commonly appear. So if we change targets here, so we talked about this one already. We already know it's weak against bird. If we go over to this one, so this one's actually weak against plant. So then if I go into triangle and go back into arts, I know neither Asbel nor Hubert have any enemy types that they are strong against. But let's just see if Unknown Girl has anything that's strong against plants. So she does not. So right now we don't have anybody in our party that can specialize against plants. But and if we wanted to go into strategy, we can actually go through here and tell them certain, set their AI a certain way. One thing I need to do is, okay, I don't think I have that option in this game. Some of the games give you an option to actually tell them not to use healing items, or to only use them at a certain point. Typically in the games in the series that I've played, you want to use items as little as possible for a certain portion of the game, and sometimes it's obvious and sometimes it's not, because you can usually get some kind of a bonus, whether it's a skit or a title or something, from not using items for a certain portion of the game. In fact, the Tales of Xillia, both 1 and 2, both have special skits that you can only see if you don't use healing items for the first however long portion of the game. And in the first one, it's actually a considerable length of time before you actually will let you. But the other thing you can do in the battle menu is you can actually change your equipment during battle, which is very useful. Again, we'll get some equipment that is strong or weak against certain enemy types and attack types. And you can actually change your titles in battle. So if you come up against a boss that you weren't necessarily prepared for, you can basically anything you need to do, you can change in the midst of battle, including your skills that you're using, and the title that you have equipped for that passive bonus. And so that's a pretty cool thing, and that's common in the entire series too, is that they give you a great amount of flexibility. And of course items. And in this series, when you use a curative, actually I think you can use any item, but the typical ones are going to be curative items. It initiates a cooldown before anyone else in your party can use another item. And there are skills and abilities that reduce that wait time. The movement system in combat here is a little bit unique.
Over already?
Okay, I didn't tell him to attack. I need to turn that off. I need to set him to semi-auto instead of auto. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to... Oh, you know what? It's in the art screen. Sometimes it's in their status bars and sometimes it's in the art screen. I need to turn it. Right now he's set to auto, which means that he will actually do everything. If I'm just sitting here and talking, he's going to attack automatically. But I need to set it to semi-auto so that I can control his actions. The difference between semi-auto and manual is that semi-auto, when you initiate an attack that has a certain range on it, they will automatically move into that range of the enemy that you're targeting. So that's useful. And then manual, you have complete control. They won't do anything automatically, including moving into range. So semi-auto is the one that I typically keep it on unless I have particular battles or particular characters that I'm playing as. One cool thing about this series that I really enjoy is that because the focus is so character driven, we you actually have the option. Sometimes you have to purchase an item that allows it. Sometimes you have to wait for a certain portion of the game to unfold. But you can actually play. If I wanted to switch to either of my other party members right now, I can actually set it up. I think I can do that this early in this game. But you can actually set it up so that if I didn't want to play as Asbel basically the entire game, I would not have to have him as my like controlled character. And in fact, later in the game, I have a character that I like to switch to because of the type of weapon and the style of combat that he has. I will actually use Mysterious Girl some as well. So we've got another Turtles here, and this is the tutorial I was talking about with the crafting system.
An apple and a gel seed, yeah? Then let's get dualizing.
And one of the things about the Turtles is they are also comic relief characters, typically. That's why they're talking with Z's, and why Turtles is spelled with a Z. That's consistent throughout the series. They're a certain type of personality that's kind of similar to Chocobos, Moogles, Tonberries in the Final Fantasy series. They're kind of a unique piece of this series.
We have to read. What a pain.
That, like I say, they have very similar uses in every game. They have the similar talking styles. And it's kind of a flavor thing for this series. Either you like it or you don't. I find it amusing. Even their tutorial has those Z's in there for random. If you've played World of Final Fantasy, it's like Tama's speech style, which again, either you like it or you don't. But in this case, this is a tutorial. They want us to specifically make an apple gel. So we're gonna grab an apple here, and we're gonna grab a gel seed, and then it's not gonna let me do more than one, although I have the components for more than one. And then it's just gonna have us go ahead and make that apple gel. So now we took two components that would otherwise have not been useful in combat to us and created something that that actually will help us. We can do the same thing with equipments. We can do the same thing with materials. In fact, in this series, you very rarely want to sell old equipment, even though for the majority of the game, a lot of times gold is difficult to come by. So there's a certain amount of strategy to that. But in this case, he was just showing us the basics of Dualize, but we can also go back into the menu, and now we can do this at any Turtles or any merchant. So we're going to go back in here, and anything that's in green here means that I have something that I can combine with it. These mean that I have something that I can combine that I've already done. And then we have the different types. So anything with the fish symbol here is an ingredient, as you can see in the bottom description of the item, and then the top ones are materials. So one thing I'm going to do here is I have different items than when I did this the last time, so I'm going to get more rice very shortly, so it's okay if I use my rice here. I'm going to do this, make some tea leaves, and what this one is going to do is if I use it outside of battle, I'm going to get 11% HP recovery during battle. Something activates it in battle. I think in this case it's just automatically activated in battle, but some of them have conditions before it activates itself. And it would give me 11% HP recovery from using it. And then it gives you the tutorial on specifically cooking. Oh, that's what I was looking for. No, was it actually? Oh, pickled plum. Okay, and then I can combine. So this pickled plum wasn't in there originally, but because I made rice porridge, I can use pickled plum and the rice porridge that I just made to make a better version of it. And I got that wrong before. So in this case, some of the food items, in some of the games, especially the newer games, the food items only take effect in combat. In this game, you have some instant effects. In this case, the HP recovery is an instant effect, and then in battle, for the next battle, or a certain amount of battles, depending on the item, it's going to have the secondary effect, in this case of preventing poison. So we're going to take that, and we're going to do that. As you can see, there's actually a fee for doing this, and some of the better items cost a lot more than others, obviously. So then we're going to make the pork cutlet bowl, and this does a much higher recovery, HP recovery. But the previous one that we did also made the point that sometimes you have to dualize something in order to get something better. So that's kind of a unique aspect of this. And there are reasons to do this besides just combining just completion, but we'll get to those later. So in this case, there's nothing that will exclude me from doing everything that I can do right now. So what would happen is once you select the first ingredient, it will tell you everything. When I select the fur here, it eliminates everything but the wood chunk for me that I can combine it with. So it will show you everything that it will possibly combine with. You're not just guessing and trying to waste materials on trying to find things. So in this case, I have 2 more things that I can make, and by using either of my ingredients, I'm not going to prevent myself from making the other item. So I'm going to go ahead and do both. I'm not necessarily going to make more than one of any of them. One nice thing about this one is that it actually does tell you how much it's worth to sell it when you're making them. And some of them are just for selling, but there is a system later for requests that again is common to the series, that basically makes it worthwhile to craft certain items, and then you turn it in for much more. Sometimes it's for more gold than you would have normally gotten from it. Sometimes it's for rare items. Sometimes it's for even titles. I think at some point you get some, and a few of them initiate quest lines, so, or end quest lines, depending on the item. And of course, you can go through here and look for specific things. The ones that are in red means that there's something that I could combine them with that but I don't have the necessary ingredients for it. So like this misty blouse that Unknown Girl is wearing. At some point, I can get something else to combine with that and make it a better item. But we don't know what, because we haven't seen it yet. Alright, I'm going to go over here. And talk to these. And I am way over my hour. I did not realize that. I apologize, folks. I'm going to just go ahead and save here then. I got playing and not thinking. So anyway, these will be, except for this one, hour-long installments, give or take a few minutes. And they are going to be uploaded, let's see, what day of the week did I decide these were going to be done. I'm going to be uploading these every Monday. So this first one's going to go up on the weekend. And then the next one, the second episode, will be up on Monday. And then it'll be Monday thereafter. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Like I said, this series is primarily about raising awareness for the series. I'm hoping that as you watch this, you're going to enjoy it and maybe go out and buy a few games in the series, or buy the entire series. If you buy the entire series, you'd be ahead of me, so no spoilers, please. But like, share, subscribe so you know when my videos come out. One thing that I'm going to do is I am going to upload an hour of content every week for this game and my other 2 streams, which are Kingdom Hearts on Wednesdays and Final Fantasy 13 on Fridays. And then I may optionally do some bonus content on the weekends. I haven't decided exactly what I would do yet. I know, like, sometimes I'll be uploading the streams that I do of grinding for items or experience or whatever that I know you probably don't want to see in the mainline episodes, but I will probably do those as optional content or bonus content on the weekends, and then I'll probably do some top 10 videos, and I'll do other whatever I feel like uploading on the weekends. Maybe streams of something else. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.